Whoops. Let's try this one.
Nope.
How about the theme song?
Sports, when you've got a great ball club. Sports, when you're leaving it all on the field. Sports, when you like your team's chances. Sports, to survive and advance in sports. For the teams you love and the teams you love to hate. Oh, it's Sports Channel 8. Yeah. Sports Channel 8. Hey! Hey! Hey!
It is Sports Channel 8, the streaming show and the podcast, coming at you today on a Friday morning. And there's snow on the way. And BG's on his way as well. He's in the house. Is Josh Goodson on the way? I don't know. We'll find him. He's on a golf course in Myrtle Beach somewhere, I believe, is the destination. Although I'm pretty sure Goodson told us he retired from golf. So I'm not sure how that's going to go now that he's playing in a team event.
He doesn't tell the truth a lot.
Find us on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter. You can comment along on Facebook and YouTube, but follow us on all those places. Subscribe on YouTube so you never miss a show. And, of course, we come at you as a podcast as well. We'll drop this just after the show. Subscribe right now in Apple, Spotify, Google, if you're like me and you use an Android phone, or any of the different places you can find your podcast. That's right. We're giving out that advice. With us today, we will be giving you live weather updates. We'll be talking about UNC, NC State, maybe a little Duke Louisville. We'll see. Canes win last night. U.S. men's national team wins last night. And we've got a fun game you can play along with at home that we'll conclude the show with on a Friday. It'll be a lot of fun. First, let's introduce who's in the house today. My man, 10% Water. He is the guy that everybody wants to hear from, and we'll lead off with him in just a second. It is the Weather Moose. Moose, what's going on?
What's happening, fellas?
And then toboggan wearer down there is Ben Swain. Is it chilly, or are you just repping the Junior Cane, Swain?
Both. No, I just want to make it clear that a toboggan is something you wear and not something that you ride.
All right, and next, also wearing a toboggan, Brian Geisinger.
Totally unplanned.
You guys coordinated. Also, how about the come up of that Champion has had recently?
Mm-hmm.
I like it.
It was like cool, and then it went like uncool for a little bit, and it's back. But Andrew Wiggins, All-Star, Brian Geisinger, what's going on?
Not much, man. Andrew Wiggins got the shot, got the vax, and then made the All-Star roster. How about that?
I didn't like him getting the All-Star start only because LaMelo Ball got snubbed.
It's look, he's had a nice season, but it's a little ridiculous. I don't know, man. The NBA All-Star game is fake, so it's like
NBA All-Star game for our scam of the week next week. We'll see.
We very well could. By the way, don't be surprised if you see some votes for current Pac Pro Amir Yurtseven 7 to maybe make one of the all-rookie teams this year.
I thought you were about to say All-Star.
No.
Yurtseven is a rookie? I felt like he played in college like 6 years ago. How can he only be a rookie in the NBA?
Rookie, man. And he's had a nice season for the Heat.
All right.
Bro.
Does the NBA do the thing where like you can play for X amount of games and it doesn't count against your rookie status? They do that?
I believe so, in part because, but I'm not sure. But I'm not 100% sure because, as you may remember, a couple of years ago there was the controversy for rookie of the year with Ben Simmons and Donovan Mitchell, where like Simmons didn't play at all the first season after he was drafted, and then he went on to be like in the rookie of the year race. I think won the award the following season with Mitchell, even though technically it was his second year in the NBA.
Very cool. All right. Sorry, I got behind. I'm trying to share this on Facebook, and I realized that I was like 3 seconds behind the actual live Brian Geisinger talking. So we are. We are brought to you by Movement Mortgage for all your mortgage needs. Basically, everybody on this show has talked to Josh Goodson about their mortgage. I'm still trying to decide, but everybody else here is all in, and it is the best place. Check out Movement Mortgage. Talk to Josh Goodson. You can find him on Twitter, DM him, Facebook, whatever. You'll get to him. But it's the best place to get your mortgage. But everybody's talking about one thing. We're going to do the local news thing where we make weather the top story of the day in Sports Channel 8. That's why we have a weather moose, on staff. Moose, we'll get the official JoCo weather report later in the show, but give us the latest on the snow. When's it going to start? How much? Temperatures, all that stuff for my house specifically.
Your house specifically, Permar.
Just give us the general.
Well, it's going to start in the triangle sometime around 1 or so in the morning, like the real good heavy stuff. It'll last for a couple hours. You're looking at probably 1 inch to 2 inches across most of the triangle region. Probably more for the Swainer down here. You might see a little bit more than the rest of us out here towards the eastern part of the state. But, that's what we're looking at right now. And there is the slightest hint of possible thunder snow with this. Just a slight bit. But it's such a rare phenomena that I don't even really want to talk about it. I don't expect we'll see it. But
didn't I see you dismissing somebody who came at you asking about thunder snow, and now you're like hyping it up?
No, because they came in like thunder snow ! And that, you know me, I'm thunder snow ? Maybe it's just like snow maybe, but that's where
can I ask you a very scientific question?
No.
Is this lake effect snow?
This is not lake effect snow. No.
This isn't like Jordan Lake or Sharon Harris Lake, or it has nothing to do with it. Okay.
No.
The Atlantic Ocean is basically just a big lake, right?
Right.
And just big lake effect.
Yeah, you could consider it that. Nor'easter, big lake effect.
See, now you got the people talking, Moose.
Yeah.
Now everyone's talking thunder snow because Moose said it. And believe it. If you want to post in the comments where you live, give us exact street address, times you'll be away from your home, and the codes.
Any security codes, hidden key.
Yeah.
You leave that in the comments, and Moose will tell you how much it's going to snow, when it's going to start.
Moose.
Go ahead.
If we have snow in Winston, is that wake effect snow?
Ooh, I like it. I think we can start a trend there, BG. If you're going to get it in the triad, but nowhere else, it's definitely wake effect snow.
Perfect.
Also, 1 to 2 inches in the triangle sounds like you're up in the I was seeing dusting to inch and a half, and now you're going to 2.
Yeah, it's leaking in. It's come a little bit east, the heavier stuff. So I think we're going to see it.
Jason M needs to clarify, is that Wake Forest the town or Wake Forest the school?
Yeah, I don't know zip codes, Jason. That's
But yes, everyone's getting snow. That's just the answer for right now. But it'll be starting in the middle of the night. All right, we will talk a little bit of sports because it's a Friday. We don't have any gambling advice unless Josh Goodson randomly jumps in from the golf course. Oh, Kinston. Oh yeah, is Kinston going to get any snow? We don't have Josh Goodson here caping out. Nothing.
No, I wouldn't worry about. Don't worry about snow in Kinston. Nope, absolutely not. Don't worry about it.
What if how far up 70 are they gonna have to drive to get a little bit?
Up 70?
Yeah.
I think you're gonna have to get it in eastern North Carolina. Like anything good, you're gonna have to go way up to like the northern Outer Banks to get anything worth anything.
We appreciate the first half of your comment, Jason M. We're not going to get into like comparing, different people, but Gold's a good friend of ours, North Carolina Sports Broadcaster of the Year. Congratulations! But we appreciate the sentiment. We miss being able to connect to you guys on 9. It's
like 5-on-1, so that's not even.
No.
We could beat Gold in hoops or golf or anything. All right, State UNC tomorrow. Josh Goodson, I can't believe he's missing the day before State Carolina. Which team? I feel like both fan bases are approaching this with a lot of angst, and one team is going to come away the victor and feel good for about 48 hours and then go back to feeling a lot of angst. Is that sort of the vibe you're getting from this game?
So as a State guy, right, I want to beat Carolina all the time, every time, bar none, don't care. This season's already a wash. So this would be the icing on the cake of this season to win this game. So even if they did win the game tomorrow, I'm not going back to feeling like crap after that. Nope, I got something to hang my head on the rest of the year. No, I'm good with it. Win the game.
I just love. We talked about this on Monday's show, but it's like If UNC wins this game, it's going to be hilarious to see like the perception change from the span of a week, from the sky is falling, what's wrong with the program, to hey, we just won 3 games in a row and beat a rival. That's great. I think this is going to be kind of an interesting matchup. I just like Sebron is absolutely the kind of Darion Sebron's had an awesome season, and he's absolutely the kind of player that could give UNC some trouble. UNC won against Boston College, but it was a pretty, maybe not pretty. That was a really gross game. But UNC kind of won an ugly game. Like that's probably one of their worst offensive games this season that they've also won. Probably not great when Leaky Black is, one of your better offensive players in a game. But down game for Baycott, they still got the win over a bad BC team. We'll see if they bounce back. But I don't know. It should be a fun game. Hopefully it could be really high scoring, like with Caleb Love and RJ Davis versus Darion Sebron and Terquavion Smith. Like that's a lot of firepower in the backcourt. So that makes for a compelling game. And I'll be curious to see how UNC defends.
BG, you're making the assumption that Terquavion Smith and Darion Sebron will be allowed to play most of that game by the officials. Now
it's Evie Duana that's just definitely going to have 2 fouls before the first media time.
Yes.
There's no way.
I bet which state player gets 2 on him first and what time. All right, Swain, I'm loving your body language over here.
Well, I'm utterly disappointed in us right now because it's completely irresponsible to be talking about playing this game. We might have an inch or 2 of snow on the ground.
That's true.
I mean, I do not care about player safety, fan safety. This game should not happen on Saturday. It is unsafe to travel to Chapel Hill in the snow, which we've seen historically that is a bad idea. So yeah, I hate that we're even talking about who's going to win this game when we should be doing the public service and saying, you know what? There's more important things than this game, and that is your life. Okay? You can have another State Carolina game. You cannot have another life. Stay at home. Find something else to do, but 1 to 2 inches of snow is not the conditions that you need to be driving to Chapel Hill.
We're going to put Swain as our resident transportation expert. We're going to have to get him out there on 15501 for a roads are fine. Okay.
Yeah. Traffic on the 2s with Swain is just him screaming, roads are fine. That's the entire.
I do think of whether it's Duke, Carolina, State Carolina, maybe to a lesser degree Duke State, when there are these decisions that kind of have to be made collectively, but there's I imagine it's what's going on right now with diplomacy with with Russia and the Ukraine issue. It's we know we don't like you. We're talking to you. We'd rather not be talking to you. We're kind of pretending like we're working together, but we're just waiting for the other person to pull a move that we don't trust. I just love thinking of you guys, whatever you guys want to do is best. It's not safe for you guys, pussies, whatever. In the back and forth where they have to work together on these things is fun. And then, of course, the other big headline: UNC honoring Roy Williams. Stay Fan Moose. This doesn't get to you, right? This is totally.
No. This was 100% what I expected, and I firmly believe that he was put on the calendar to be honored at some other game, and he was like, absolutely not. Put me on the damn NC State game or don't put me out there at all. That's what he said.
I do think it's hilarious. Somebody pointed this out, but he's literally been at every game. Yeah. Anytime you want, you can just call it out, but it's nah. We're doing this. It would have been more petty to do it for the Duke game in this situation because it would have been K's last game and then just confront all over that. It's a nice middle ground.
I think the most ironic thing is they're going to do it during a timeout.
Yes.
Hopefully one that Hubert calls even. All right, Duke's at Louisville. Is Kay gonna make his assistant stay in Durham for fear that the Louisville AD might try and interview some of them? He's not taking any Louisville right now.
I think Kay's gonna interview while he's there. He's free next year. He's got time, so I think he might interview while he's up there.
What if he and Patino co-coach the team? Patino's I can't do all this stuff, and Kay's I got you. I'm used to sort of running a program too. We could do this together.
That would be awesome.
You can talk to fans. I'll run it like Team USA basketball. We'll have a couple of like really good assistants that actually go to the practices. But like, yeah, it'll be a fun two-headed monster. Any other games of interest, BG, this weekend? You're my expert ACC. Oh, sorry. What, Swain?
Whalers night.
Oh, no, I mean
Whalers night on Saturday night.
hoops. I meant ACC hoops.
Oh, okay.
Do we care about we those are the triangle games?
We actually do one more note on the Duke Louisville game. I did check the rules, and because Louisville will be coaching with an interim coach, that will not count as a true road game for Duke on Saturday. It's against the rules.
I don't know. I mean, I would get excited. Like, I will enjoy watching Notre Dame, Virginia, but I'm guessing that's not going to be very popular amongst this
anyone.
No, so but I do want to use that as a means of bringing up. I wrote a big piece on Notre Dame this week. That's at ACCSports.com. If you would please go read that. I put a lot of time into that. Notre Dame basketball is back. Like, Virginia game aside, now that I'm saying this, they'll probably lose in the gross game tomorrow. but Notre Dame is like, they're good, they're fun, their offense is excellent, and they've got one of the best players like in the ACC with Blake Wesley too. But like, Dane Goodwin's having an awesome season, so is Nate Laszewski. They just kind of look like Notre Dame from a couple of years ago, but they're doing some creative stuff on offense. And anyways, I did a deep dive on them. That's at ACCSports.com if you would like to read it. So I'll be interested in that game. Does Virginia Tech, Florida State do anything for you guys? That's another, like, I do, like, I'm excited to watch that game too. But that's mostly, like, that's a game that I probably would have been more excited for, like, before, like, I don't know, just Virginia Tech's been disappointing this season. FSU's been better recently.
BG, I will say that I saw Notre Dame, NC State the other night, a little bit of that game, and when you think Notre Dame and you think Blake Wesley, that is not what you expect when you turn on your TV. I had a very different mental image in my head of
yes. Yeah, like, Swain, no, like, when we put the preseason basketball magazine together.
Whoa.
When we put
is that a sounder every time BG puts a magazine?
That wasn't even me.
Literally last fall though, when I put together the basketball magazine for the ACC Sports Journal, like the preseason magazine, you know, I remember, like, I did the Notre Dame section and, like, wrote a little blurb because, like, Wesley wasn't even, like, a huge recruit. He was, like, a top 100 borderline guy. But I was doing that sight unseen. You know what I mean? I'm just, like, looking at these charts and filling it out. And then when I watched them play for the first time this season, it was like, that's Blake Wesley? Like, this guy looks like an NBA 2 guard floating around out here, just, like, not the visual. And then I realized that in November 2020, I'd actually written a story for ACCSports.com when he committed. But I just did all of that sight unseen.
If you hear Blake Wesley for Notre Dame on the basketball team, you're like, oh, is that the backup tight end that caught 2 TDs? Clemson, and then he wanted to play both instead of letting him walk on basketball too. But he's there. He's there. Blake Wesley he's a starter tight end next year, but he had a good rookie freshman season. Yeah. But
no, it's like he's a guy that I think could get into the first round of the draft. He's awesome. If you watch the NBA and are a fan of like Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, he kind of like there's some like traits that are similar between those two guys. But he's fun and just like Notre Dame is like good like outside of him, but he kind of is the one guy that really like kind of raises the ceiling, I think, for Notre Dame this season. I'm not interested in those games, but I'm always interested in shameless self-promotion and good BG thorough basketball piece. My favorite is like my friends, like Virginia friends, especially when they were good a couple years ago, like BG pieces will end up on like Notre Dame basketball message board of like, look, we're getting some love from the heart of the road. And it's always like BG. Like, friend who's a random fan of like that school. They'll be like, hey, your boy Brian's all over the message board. They're loving this deep dive with Blake Wesley. So I get Virginia fans have been very good to me as far as. And who's Wake got this weekend? Wake has
Syracuse.
They played Syracuse a couple weeks ago. That was a very fun Alondas Williams game that went into overtime, if I remember correctly. So Syracuse they're bad though, man. They stink. How are they bad?
Other topics to hit besides ACC hoops.
Jim Boeheim back in the news for throwing somebody under a vehicle.
This
Seriously, he said that one of his players wasn't strong enough to fall up to the rim.
This time, thankfully, he's only figuratively throwing people.
Yeah.
Had this been like a growing thing where like media and fans are like, yo, this is one of our best players, and Boeheim's like, no, it's not. It's like he feels like he has to defend himself by like piling on the player to like tell fans and media that they don't know what they're talking about. It's like, yo, why don't you just stick to like berating the fans and the media instead of shoveling dirt on your boy here? Like, come on, Boeheim. Maybe he wants in on the Louisville job with Pitino and Kay next year, the triumvirate of them.
Let's do that. Let's get a coaching staff that's a combined 300 years old. Let's just
a lot of natty titles, though. What win last night was less impressive for you, Swain? The Canes win or the U.S. men's national team win?
I mean, they were both incredibly impressive. A win's a win, man. What do you think?
I like to hear.
No, so I only caught the second half of USA Soccer, and they looked fine. I mean, they only scored one goal, but they had, 3 wide open headers that they missed that they should have finished. They should have just scored more goals, but that game was not 1-0. It wasn't close at all. And then the big one on Sunday, the rivalry USA Canada.
Do you think Canada's making a mistake playing in Hamilton? Like, isn't that kind of firing up the Americans?
Yeah. You can't do that.
Hamilton. You got to play in something like Frenchtown. You got to play in Quebec if you're trying to get in Hamilton. We're like,
that's good teams steal games, and that's what the Canes did last night. Freddie's unreal. Not just a shootout, but like second and third period, he made saves that he should not ever be able to make, and he was incredible with that. The 2 goals they scored were complete flukes, but Canes played okay. They probably didn't deserve to win that game, but they're just good, and so they got the win.
We got some Canes content up on our TikTok, which is up and running now too. Check that out at Channel 8 Sports. Also, for folks who just tuned in, I know we pick up some people during the show. We are sponsored by Movement Mortgage. Head up our boy Josh Goodson to talk to all your mortgage needs. And also follow us while you're here. Go ahead and mash the subscribe button on YouTube. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter at Channel 8 Sports. All right, I want to hit a couple other things quickly before we get to our game of the day and our weather report. Did you guys, what did you think of the news of former UNC coach Larry Fedora signing on as a head coach again? A great coaching job in Louisiana. This guy is a head coach in the state of Louisiana. Had to be the dream job he always wanted. Head of the USFL's New Orleans Breakers. My question for you guys, has there ever been a more perfect match than Larry Fedora and the USFL, like a second-rate football league?
He's going to be coaching with like when he's on the sidelines, he's not going to have like the coaching like headset. He's going to have one of those like party hats with like the 2 beers on the side, or like with a hurricane drink or whatever.
Definitely will be allowed to drink on the sideline. We were just discussing earlier, like USFL does not recognize concussion protocol. They're treating concussions like the rest of Louisiana is treating COVID. They're like, nah, if you don't test for it, does not exist.
That's right.
So yeah, Larry Fedora getting it done in the USFL.
I do like how like the picture that the New Orleans Breakers, and let me tell you, when I think about surfing, I think New Orleans. But I do, the promotional image that they put out for the hire is amazing because it's him at UNC, is it not?
Yeah, definitely.
Yes.
It looks a lot. That's what it looks like, at least. So I don't know. That makes me kind of laugh a little bit.
Who are the other USFL coaches that were announced yesterday? There was another good one or two.
Jeff Fisher going to the Michigan Panthers. Coming literally one day after we talked about Jeff Fisher as being a football coach in the metaverse, and then he got hired to coach in what is kind of an alternative universe as far as football goes.
USFL.
I feel like we spoke that one into existence, honestly.
I'm almost disappointed that Matt Rule didn't interview Fedora for the offensive coordinator position. Like, just to completely alienate himself from everyone in North Carolina. I mean, he already interviewed Scotty Montgomery.
They hired Ben McAdoo, right? Isn't that? That's incredible.
Yeah.
That's like, I mean, that has to be just like no one wanted the job, right? What that's got to be.
Former
McAdoo.
Former ECU coach Skip and son of Lou Holtz, Skip Holtz in the USFL also makes sense. And I love how like we know it's like unspoken at every one of these new football leagues, whether it's the AAF, XFL, USFL, like we know they're not going to last. We know, like you can deny it to yourself. Like the people that are the presidents or whatever, like they have to pretend to believe, but like the rest of us know. But there is this sort of odd fascination of like, well, all right, you guys got 2 months, maybe like 2 weeks where we'll actually pay attention to games to see what you're throwing out there, to see if I recognize a former player or if you're doing something crazy, like if you have a hole in the middle of the field at the 30-yard line where players disappear.
That would be awesome.
You always know going in, like, this isn't going to last, but like, what are you throwing at me, random minor league football team? Like, what are you giving me to try? There was the one where it was like interviewing people.
XFL, right?
Well, no, I think the AAF last year, they were doing the like interview people right after they either like threw an interception or like something bad and like that went wrong. You get like hot mics, but it's like, all right, I'll tune into this. Like get the mic in his face while he's mad at his receiver. Yeah, let's do this. So
that was like kind of popping off for a little bit until didn't Tom Dundon squash that?
Yeah, 2 bits of breaking news about the USFL. One, Larry Fedora is already speaking out about the league's COVID policy, which they haven't even announced yet. He's mad about it. And then the second one, Tom Dundon just bought the USFL.
I do like when I Google search Tom Dundon, it still doesn't say owner of the Carolina Hurricanes. It always says chairperson of the Alliance of American Football. Like, how did that be the thing? That
man who looks like he needs a good night of sleep, Tom.
And then quickly before we get to the weather.
Will the Montreal Canadiens buy the USFL to screw Tom Dundon? Like, look at you.
Have you guys seen the I know we don't do a lot of NFL. This is going to be my talk for the NFL championship weekend, right? Have you guys seen the now I can't remember the quarterback's name, but the Mina Kimes versus
Jeff Garcia. Yeah.
He's mad. Boy, is he mad. Big mad. So mad.
If you missed it, Mina Kimes, great NFL analyst, great writer, smart person. She's on ESPN. Seems pretty cool, too. I don't know her personally, but like a well-liked person and a good NFL analyst. And all the other NFL people, former players she works with, say she's great, she's smart. We talk the game, all this stuff. Jeff Garcia, I guess because maybe Kimes was bagging on Jimmy Garoppolo, who we all know is going to be the next Carolina Panthers quarterback, even though we have no hope in him being any better than Sam Darnold. He's just been in a slightly better managed situation. But so Garcia went off on her, and now everyone's been caping up for Mina Kimes, including – I love the people throwing out all of Jeff Garcia's worst highlights, being like, oh, my God, look – like the Seattle Seahawks are throwing out whatever. But to me, there was a little bit of – and maybe I'm going too far with it. It was cool to see most of the NFL world that through the lens that I see it saying, no, Mina Kimes is a great analyst. You're a washed-up QB who nobody's talked about for 10 years. Shut up. But there's also a little bit of everyone's patting themselves on the back of like, yes, I'm glad we are finally at a place where we can admit there is one female that we will allow is smart and can stand on the same stage as us. Like, we're like, look at this. I am saying that this is a female that can talk. Like, what we finally arrived. There's one woman that we will admit is a good NFL analyst.
It wouldn't be like mainstream like prestige media if they didn't immediately start patting themselves on the back for just like the bare minimum in terms of like progress or
like the easiest, most obvious example, like the extremely smart, really likable, really good at her job person. Now we're not out here standing up for people who like are just trying to break in and make a mistake and getting piled on by the NFL bros in whatever small market they're in. Like, we're not worried about her. She's not going to make it. Like, Mina Kimes, we're ready to say, yeah, we did it. Yay. Anyway.
Yeah.
All right. We got the snow report earlier, but now this time it's the official Johnston County weather report. Moose, I don't have sound for you. I apologize. We're getting there. I was torn. I'll ask you guys. I could probably have somebody sneak our original sounder out the back door of 99.9 The Fan where it arrests.
I got it. I've got it.
You've got it somewhere?
I've got it. Yeah.
There's part of me that's like, I don't know. That's Doris Burke was sort of the pre-mean account. Whatever. But there's there's part of me that's like, I don't know. Do we want to leave the old sounder behind and come up with a new Sports Channel 8 the streaming sounder?
To clear that up, we do have a sketchy track record with borrowing music, so maybe
that's true.
Maybe hold off.
I think 99.9 is we're still good enough friends. They're not going to put a DMCA notice on us. Although I shouldn't say that too. I shouldn't say that too confidently. We'll see. But Moose, what's going on with the weather this weekend?
All right, boys. This week's weather report is brought to you by Crystal Methany's Mobile Pharmacy, based out of anywhere along Highway 96 in Johnston County where there's not a checkpoint. No one's better at filling your pharmaceutical needs in the nearest dimly lit Piggly Wiggly parking lot. Call Crystal Methany today, boys. Get it done. Our first stop's going to be out in Louisville as Duke heads west to take on the Cardinals, where they got a little snow going on this morning. That'll clear out tomorrow. It'll be sunny and clear like Chris Mack's mind after getting out of that toxic wasteland. High near 30 degrees, no real threat of precipitation, just like Louisville's with an interim head coach is not going to pose a real threat at all to the Blue Devils. All right. Next, we're going to slide out to Chapel Hill, literally and figuratively, as we'll see slick roadways tomorrow morning. Well, maybe not everywhere, as State fans will be bringing plenty of salt with them down I-40 as they head that way. We'll see a couple of inches of snow to deal with, which is too bad for Andrew Platek since he's transferred to Siena. High of 32, clearing in the afternoon. Could see winds gusting to 23 to 28 miles an hour. 23 to 28 is about how many fouls we'll see on NC State by the under 12 timeout of the second half of this one.
Yeah, I hate to break it to you. There's 100% chance of Jalen Gibson having to play too much in this game and Armando Bacot putting him in the basket and then dunking right over the top of him. There's a very high probability of that.
Honestly, Williams is going to be right there on the baseline going, ah!
As a State fan, I would personally love to see Bacot dunk Jalen Gibson in the Dean Dome. That's fine. Lastly, we're going to head up to a godforsaken Syracuse as Wake Forest makes a trip northward to take on the Fighting Boeheim. It's going to be cold up there tomorrow. A high of 10 degrees with a wind chill of minus 15, which is still warmer than Syracuse shooting the ball lately. A few scattered snow showers with winds gusting around 25 miles an hour, which is probably the number of missed Buddy Boeheim three-pointers, or by how much Wake's going to win this one. So that's the Johnston County Weather Report. I'm the Weather Moose, and I love you guys.
I love hearing those. Great job, Moose. I love hearing those weather stats for Syracuse and wondering, why can't Syracuse get players like they used to once upon a time? Who wouldn't want to come up to the frozen tundra of Western New York?
And Boeheim just keeps filling the roster with more of his progeny. Just here, where's another Boeheim? Let's just stick him on the bench.
The Duke Syracuse game was funny last week because you had Jim Boeheim coaching, you had Buddy and Jimmy playing the game. ESPN did a 4-minute long interview with Boeheim's wife, Julie, I think her name is. You had Kay and Michael Savarino, the grandson, getting in there, playing 4 minutes in that game. You had Bates Jones, brother of Daniel Jones, and then you also had, within that game for Duke, you had Theo John, a transfer from Marquette, and for Syracuse, you had Samir Torrens, a transfer from Marquette. And Steve Wojciechowski, their former coach at Marquette, was also at the game, too. It was the nexus of the basketball universe.
And also Joey Baker, who is also Coach K's grandson.
Hey, we do real quick. We have to say a little bit about Boeheim's virility, right? Because his sons are playing on his team, whereas it's Coach K's grandsons, right? Boeheim's 90. How does he have college?
He have a grandson on the team?
I don't know.
He should have a son and a grandson. Also, no truth to the rumor that Boeheim asked Paolo Banchero to drive his car home after the game for him. Sorry, Syracuse. You stink. The funny story, the godforsaken Syracuse line. So this, if you've been a fan of the show for a while, you know that's a Brian Geisinger line. But sometimes you can hear a phrase in your head that you've known for a while and you don't remember exactly what movie or TV show it's from. You just know it's a phrase. Well, I wasn't getting to Syracuse, but I had like, it's always godforsaken something, whatever in my head. And I couldn't remember like the origin of it. And I wasn't placing it. So I was literally Googling like the line from a movie, like always godforsaken something, trying to remember where it was from. I was like, oh, no, it's from SportsChannel8. It was Brian Guys. Godforsaken Syracuse.
Yeah, that is when Syracuse like sneaks into the NCAA tournament.
Yep.
And then before you blink, they're in the Sweet 16. That's the godforsaken Syracuse.
Oh,
You're like, how did they get here again? How did they do this? You're like, huh?
They missed the tournament. I'm almost positive they weren't in, and now they're here. What happened? All right, with the time remaining on a Friday, shout out to everybody who's listening. Shout out. Oh, I haven't been paying attention. Shout out to everybody who's been dropping comments. Jason, Benjamin. Oh, wait, I didn't even see Benjamin. Downtown Raleigh. Still getting an inch or 2 inches, Moose?
Yep, right around an inch.
Okay. We are going to play a game inspired by a couple things. If you are a fan of this show, you know that one of our favorite all-time shows is Chappelle's Show. But one of our other all-time favorite shows is Righteous Gemstones, and Gemstones is back, baby. You need to check out our Jacob Slavin song to the tune of Misbehaving from season 1. But in episode 4 of season 2, we got the famous phrase. Oh, wait. Let's try it with the volume up.
Oh, he a cat boy.
He a cat boy. And then yesterday, the White House announced that they have a cat. Now, they've already had a couple dogs, although one dog was like biting people, so they got rid of it. Then I think a dog died. So now they're bringing a cat. So they're trying to appease, reach all demographics. They have cats and dogs at the White House. But it raised the question that Ben Swain asked. We should figure out who in the sports world or whatever, our world, who's a cat person or who is a cat boy. And you don't have to be a boy. You don't have to own a cat. And there's no real, don't read into this too deeply, right? We're just deciding who is or isn't a cat boy. So it's time to play Who is a Cat Boy?
Are you a cat boy or a dog boy, Harmon? People might think that both, but you got to be one or the other now. That's just a fact now. Which one are you?
All right, so let's start with a man whose name is in the news, and you guys can add to the list if you want, but I've got some good ones. He is no longer the University of Louisville Cardinals head coach, but is Chris Mack a cat boy?
No, I think dog.
I think he's a dog boy.
Yeah,
right.
Mack Trucks, dog.
Yeah.
Mack is a dog boy.
Yeah.
Chris Mack, I don't know, but he was a little he never seemed like super comfortable in the spot with the spotlight on him. Like he was a guy I'd rather be behind the scenes. I liked his.
Here's the thing. So he met with Louisville to negotiate his buyout, right? And they reduced it to what, $4 million from at least twice that. Is that right? Yeah, Rick Pitino is definitely a cat boy. Chris Mack wanted out of Louisville more than Louisville wanted Chris Mack out of Louisville.
It's
And
possible.
you don't do that unless you have a cool ass dog at home to play with.
That's true.
I'm gonna go Chris Mack, dog boy.
All right.
I like that. Boy, he looked relieved to be done, didn't he?
Yeah.
Like when he was talking to the media 2 days ago or yesterday, man.
We got a list for this. Great nominees in the comments. I think Quinn Snyder probably is one. All right.
I want like Quinn Snyder to be on a bench, like on the bench, like Donovan Mitchell is running over to get instructions, and Quinn Snyder's just petting his cat.
Drop your nominees in the comments, and we might consider who is or who is not a cat boy. All right, come on, David.
Mike Vick, it's dog. Come on, man.
Why you gotta do that? All right. How about Dave Doran? Is Dave Doran a cat boy or a dog boy?
Dog.
Definitely. This is another
Dog.
one.
Definitely dog.
Your first reaction is always dog, but I was curious.
That guy's listen. There's there's too much like cheap domestic beer and country music that's flown past his body for him to be not to like generalize or anything like that. But
Sure. Some great nominees coming. All right. How about Aaron Rodgers?
Oh, he a cat boy.
Oh, yeah, he a cat boy.
Oh, he a cat boy.
Aaron Rodgers definitely has cats because he talks to them about how smart he is, and he feels like cats are smarter than dogs.
Yes.
One.
Yeah.
He's like, cats are much more of a thinking man's.
Oh, he a cat boy.
Yeah, conspiracy theorists are definitely more cat boy or cat boy.
Regardless of what pet Aaron Rodgers owns, they definitely have rabies. We know that for sure.
All right, this
Those
one
boys didn't get their shots. Is all.
Yeah, no vaccinations. No vaccinations.
All right, shout out to Daniel S. This was actually on my list, but I'll let the listeners nominate. Matt Rule, cat boy or dog boy? This is an interesting one. This is another one where I feel like as a football coach, he tries to present himself one way, but I think deep down he might be a cat boy. So let's ask the question.
I think he's got a bird.
Cat boy.
I'm going like gerbil or handle, something like that,
or a goldfish. So yeah.
I don't know. So you don't feel Matt Rule being a cat boy?
He could be a cat boy.
Yeah. He does coach the Panthers.
Oh, he a cat boy.
Cat boy. I feel like one day he's going to show up with his cat at the presser.
He's like, look, this is my new offensive coordinator. This is Mr. Peanut Butter. He's the only one who wants the job.
Proving we have the most fun and the smartest listeners. I got to say listeners and viewers out there now because people are streaming us live. Shout out to my man, Jacob. This is another one from our list. We're diving into a different section of our list now. Let's start it right now with Cat Barber, cat boy or dog boy?
Are you a cat boy?
Cat Barber, what do we think? First of all, BG, didn't Cat Barber get a NBA call-up this season?
Yeah, he did. I think it was with the Atlanta Hawks, if I'm not mistaken.
Definitely was.
Yep. Shout out to him, man. Like everyone who got the opportunity to do that. Like
very cool.
Pretty cool.
He's still up. He's still playing, right? I think I saw him.
I'm not sure because the Hornets played the Hawks recently. He did not play in that game, but I'm not sure he's still on the roster. I think he just signed a couple of 10-day contracts to my knowledge.
All right. Well, we're Cat Barber, cat boy or dog boy?
Cat. Come on.
He's a cat.
I'm gonna go.
Oh, he a cat boy.
I'm gonna go dog boy because we know that Ryan Harrow is a dog boy from his famous Instagram post.
All right, let's keep it going with other cats. What about Carl Anthony Towns? Cat, K-A-T, cat boy or dog boy?
Definitely a cat boy.
Are you a cat boy?
I think he is too. He seems like a sensitive guy. I think.
Also, he's got to be looking at Andrew Wiggins. He's one of the guys that, like, Karl Anthony Towns may not make. Like, he should make the All-Star roster. I'm hoping he will, but it's like, yeah, like if Andrew Wiggins makes it, but Karl Anthony Towns doesn't make it, it's like, what are we doing? Towns has been awesome this year. He's having probably his like best all-around season, and the Wolves are fun. They're like they've got kind of like a Midwestern Hornets vibe to them because they're young and good offense, etc. I like Karl Anthony Towns a lot.
All right, keeping it in the wait, who's commenting from the SportsChannel8 YouTube if I'm not running it? Anyway, keeping it in the cat category, the big cat, Andre Scalaraga, cat boy or dog boy?
Are you a cat boy?
I'm saying a cat, and he carries it around in his first baseman's mitt. was cat around from place to place.
He was. I'm trying to. I don't want to fat shame him, but I wonder if his physique speaks to being a cat boy or a dog boy. I'm not sure exactly what, but he got a little doughy in his later years. I think he might be a cat boy.
Oh, he a cat boy.
Yeah, he ain't walking no dogs.
The biggest cat of them all, Tiger Woods. Tiger Woods, cat boy or dog boy?
Oh, he's a dog boy. We know this.
He's got dogs?
Yeah, he's got dogs.
All right. All right, a couple other nominees. Oh, I got one. This is specifically for BG. Chet Holmgren.
Cat Holmgren.
Cat boy.
Chet Holmgren.
Oh, he a cat boy.
Chet Holmgren, a cat boy. Apparently he's pretty good. A couple other from the, let's see, we got Brad Brownell. Do you agree, cat boy? I think Brad Brownell's a dog guy. You guys like cat?
Yeah.
Oh, he a cat boy.
Jeff Garcia, definitely a cat boy. All right.
Definitely.
We're not trying to make this about certain things. We're not saying dogs are one way, cats are the other. Jeff Garcia has raised questions, but we're only going after Jeff Garcia because he's going after Mina Kimes, but we're not going to play the Jeff Garcia game. All right, what about Grayson Allen? Cat boy or dog boy?
Dog. I've seen it on Instagram.
Swain's.
Yeah. I think dog. Dog.
Shout out Andrew Huggins. I hope you're doing well with the new dad life. I've been a dad for about a year now, but shout out to
Andrew Wiggins for a second. That was
Andrew Huggins, good dude. And my man Lim Cornegie nominates Dak Prescott, cat or dog boy. I could see him being.
Are you a cat boy?
I think Dak Prescott.
Oh, he a cat boy.
Dak Prescott likes cats and he's proud of it. He's not trying to hide it.
I could 100% see Colin Cowherd doing a segment on like if a quarterback is capable of winning a Super Bowl, depending on like the cat owner. Yeah. Look, guys, the Cowboys. I'm sorry, they're just not going to be able to do it with Dak. He owns 2 cats. Too many to win a Super Bowl.
Do you think there's a social group in Dallas called the Dallas Catboys?
They'd be more fun than to hang out. I'd rather hang out with a bunch of Dallas Catboys than actual Cowboys fans. It was like I'd rather go to the Dallas Catboy bar than the Dallas Cowboy bar, big time. So Dallas, Dak Prescott, we're officially making him. You're right on Cowherd to be like, I mean, a quarterback who owns cats could lead you to 13 wins in the regular season. He could run for 15 touchdowns, but I can't see a cat owner getting it done in the playoffs.
But I'm sorry, is a cat owner going to be able to throw for 350 yards when it's 30 degrees at Lambeau Field? I just don't see them being able to drive the ball down the field in the postseason. I'm telling you, Cowherd would 100% do this.
They've got Patrick Mahomes, and you're going in there with a cat owner? Come on. Come on.
That's no more ridiculous than like the backwards hat. Exactly, Cat Mahomes. That's no more ridiculous than like the argument he's been making for years now about like, can you win a Super Bowl? Yes or no, depending on whether your quarterback wears his hat backwards or not.
So dumb. I would like to point out, huge brag, not even a humble brag, huge brag. I have a cat named after me out there. It's somebody that's a sports show. Taze Permeow. There's a cat out there.
Oh, he a cat boy.
Guess that makes me a cat
boy.
Even if I've got a large dog that eats cats. Fellas, anything else you want to hit before the weekend? In future Friday shows, we'll end the show with weekend predictions, but I forgot to tell the Sports Channel 8 team to plan this. And that's Sports Channel 8 for you, baby. At least we started with the wrong theme song. I think we're out on all the proper channels. We've had more viewers currently for this show than we have for other ones. And remember, so we obviously people are finding out about it and watch us. We're here Monday, Wednesday, Fridays at 10 a.m. The podcast will drop about 2 hours after the show ends. Subscribe on Apple, Spotify, Google, all the places we're at. You name it. And Swain, this is for you. AFC Championship or USA Canada on Sunday?
What's an AFC Championship?
You guys, I will say this for people listen. Every time I try and bring up NFL on the Slack thread, they're like, NFL sucks, man. NFL sucks. There's amazing games are going on. The Slack threads seem to be leaking into some people who are actually watching it. So
whenever that happens, it gives me like so much anxiety because I'm on my computer watching like Clemson Notre Dame from 2 weeks ago, and I'm like, I gotta stop doing this. So I can go watch, and then it was worth it because then I got to see Cat Mahomes do some cool stuff in that game. But I'm always like, all right, I got to put football on, I guess here.
Get your mortgage done with Movement Mortgage and Moose. When's the snow start?
2 a.m. 1 to 2 a.m. tomorrow morning.
1 to 2 a.m. Everyone's getting somewhere between 0 and 20 inches. I saw that's what they're saying when you work.
I saw that too. It's incredible.
So weak. Moose makes a map and he stands behind it. All right. So he might put out an updated map, but typically he's just been sticking with his predictions. For Ben Swain, Brian Geisinger, and the Weather Moose. Let me make sure I get back to the actual theme song. Have a good weekend, boys. We'll see you at Sports Channel 8. We out.
Sports, when you've got a great ball club. Sports, when you're leaving it all on the field. Sports, when you like your team's chances. Sports, to survive and advance in sports, for the teams you love. than the teams you love to hate. Oh, it's Sports Channel 8. Sports Channel 8. Hey! Hey! Hey!